Jason and Olivia Laker, in cooperation with Simon Wilson, Charlie Wilson, Dr. Drake and Whitney Owen, have been combing through hospital records and interviewing witnesses that suffered because of contaminated tap water many years ago. So now we have more than a dozen witnesses that are willing to testify to what happened to them because of George Anderson's act of sabotage, along with Carrie's original statement. These are more than enough to move forward with the lawsuit.
Yes, but because Carrie was the first victim that came forward, and she was also the earliest we know of, and she came so close to death, her name will be on top of the plaintiff list, right? That's what Sandy told me.
Maybe I'm not to blame for what happened, but it is clear that I should have been paying better attention to what was going on at this hospital. Your grandfather forced me into being a co-owner of the hospital, but teaching science was my passion. Your uncle said he would take care of everything to make sure the hospital would be run well without my input. And I trusted him. I was such an idiot. Father, I don't think anyone anticipated he would do something like this. But now we can make things right, and then we can make sure something like this never happens again. I don't think suing them is enough. Shouldn't they be facing criminal charges? Isn't destruction of public property a felony that can give you a hard time? Criminal trials are a lot tougher to prove than civil ones, so we need to make sure the civil trial goes through before we can have my brother and Ted Anderson arrested and imprisoned for what they did. We can't rush this. We have to make sure all our I's are dotted and all our T's are crossed, so to speak.
Unfortunately, he's right. Plus, we know that no matter what we do, the right-wing bigots that dominate the media will spin this into a political stunt done purely to knock Ted Anderson out of the race to become a Texas state senator. Even though his extremist views alone should make him unqualified to represent us in Austin. Why the fuck did you elect him as mayor to begin with?
I can't speak for anyone else, but I actually knew Ted Anderson from my childhood. We grew up in the same place and had the same values and culture, or so I thought. But as a teen he began hanging out with Leonard Wilson, who was also born and raised in this town. And Leonard and Simon Wilson's father founded this hospital and was one of the most powerful men in the town. My father was both a powerful man and one dedicated to serving the community. It seems my brother and Ted Anderson as adults craved power while not wanting to serve others, while I and Dr. Drake were the opposite. We made the mistake of assuming that my brother and Ted Anderson were like us because we had known them all our lives. We were wrong.